Yo, what's going on, guys? How you doing today? Finally come to the end of this crazy week. So OPEX is now over. Be careful not to get too bearish or bullish next week, as this week's action does not indicate normal activity. There's a bunch of options expiring. I'm sure market makers want to screw a lot of people, as they always do. But that being said, everything has flipped from bullish to bearish pretty much. SPY, we broke the trend line that everyone was watching. I told you guys I was a little afraid of the trend line now because we were watching it way back here in May and June. And then yesterday I seen on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere they were posting the same chart with the same trend line. And we did not bounce off the trend line like we usually do. We flagged there, we bear flagged, and we broke down today. So we broke through, we're underneath the 50-day moving average. Close was weak, absolutely no bounces this week held at all. Actually, a couple bounces held intraday, but overall, daily looks very, very ugly. We've been on a steep sell-off for the last 6 or 7 days, minus 1 day. Other than that, the close was bearish. I mean, there's no other way around it. I know a lot of people like to be long, they have a bias long, but right now the chart looks broken. Let's see what Monday brings. Last time we did break, actually, so this action is also possible. Right now it does look bearish, but we have broken below the 50-day, closed 1 day below it, and then ripped back up. So let's see if we can defend this area on Monday. Let's see if we can rip back above 442.72 is a key level on Monday. That's the number I'm watching. That is the 50-day moving average. We need to close above 442.72, super key level. If we do not close above there on Monday, we could be in for more pain for the rest of the week, next week as well. I'm not trying to scare you guys, just telling you numbers, levels to watch, all right? QQQ, again, but bearish as well, just dumped all day. Really no real bounce. We just set a lower high here and then a lower low. Consolidated into the end of the day. Looks like another bear flag's forming. Zooming out, still in an uptrend. SPY is still an uptrend. I'm not saying that we are in bear territory or anything. I'm just saying we broke that trend line. QQQ failed to break the all-time highs. And we've just been consolidating sideways all week. So SPY, if you take a look at it, we've been going down all week, but QQQ has been sideways all week. So do we break down? We need to break Wednesday's low of 373.37. 373.37. Any close below that will trigger a correct consolidation period. 373.37. So that's this key support on QQQ that we must hold on Monday. It's a very key number. If we go below there, it makes signal weekly consolidation is in place. Daily consolidation is already happening. Weekly looks like a bull flag still, so let's see if we break down on the weekly. That means we are in for longer term consolidation. If we don't and we reverse up, that means this was just daily consolidation and we move up higher. XLF, not down as much as SPY and QQQ today. It held its own. It did have a proper, way bigger bounce than QQQ did today. So financials look a little bit better, but on the daily, again, failed to take out all-time highs, broke below this ascending triangle. Now we're just bear flagging. Do we hold the key level on XLF? The support that I'm watching next week is 37.40. 37.40, if we close below there, we're in trouble. Not in trouble, we're in for more consolidation. Other than that, XLF just sideways at the top, QQQ just sideways at the top, IWM. Strongest sector today by far. We closed green for the day, actually. We opened today on IWM at 221.63 and we closed at 222.20. So we did close green on IWM despite the madness in SPY and QQQ. That is big relative strength in small caps. Let's see where we open on Monday. Looking farther out, we're just still sideways. The longer we just stay up here without taking all-time highs, the more bearish I become on small caps as well. So the key level to watch is also Wednesday's low. You guys have to watch Wednesday's lows. If they hold, we have a chance to go higher. If they do not hold, we could go much lower in these indexes. Wednesday's low is very, very important. This one is 219.07 on IWM. Everything points towards more selling, but it was OPEX week. So let's see if we reverse hard next week or if we continue the selling pressure. ES, I told you 44.64, 44.65 was the level. Above there was good for calls. Below there was bad for calls. It was better for puts, and we stayed below there today. Closed below there, everything looks like trash. Bears are in full control here. Bulls make money, bears make money, sheep get slaughtered. Bitcoin, my level is just dancing around my levels here. I did re-enter Matic and a couple other things, Ethereum and Bitcoin. So my level is 47341. 47341. As long as we close today above that, I'm not too worried. But if we do close below that, we could be range bound for a while. Even on something as volatile as Bitcoin, we could go sideways. So just know that 47341 is the key number to hold here on closes. This doesn't mean we can go 5-minute candles below and 5-minute candles above. Doesn't matter. We need closes above that level or closes below that level on the daily or weekly charts. So other than that, nothing much to report on Bitcoin. I mean, November, we get an upgrade in it. Other than that, nothing else. What is going on here? Cancel. All right, so we got a bunch of charts here. It is a Friday. Let's get through these quick so you guys can enjoy your weekend. My computer is lagging. I don't know why. I didn't really do anything today. All right, so we'll go over Amazon. Amazon was set up perfectly to rip today. Why did we enter lottos? Why were me and Ricky in lottos? I will show you right here. So the reason we entered lottos today was the weekly. The weekly candle on Amazon yesterday was setting up a beautiful, beautiful hammer candle. It's actually still like the weekly didn't close bad. The weekly chart looks real. The weekly candle looks good on Amazon. It's still kind of a hammer candle. Bounced right off the 21-day moving average at 3379. Yeah, so we missed the 21-day by 20 points, but it looks like it bounced from that area, and we set up a hammer candle. Let's see if we can go next week. This setup is really nice, though, in my opinion. We should run next week on Amazon. Let's see, with OPEX shenanigans out of the way. The only thing I am worried about on Amazon is Fed meeting. Oh, I'm not going to write it down. I can just say it. There's a Fed meeting on Wednesday next week. That's going to determine the direction. We could see more volatility into that Fed meeting because there is no Fed meeting in October. So if they're going to raise rates, most likely they will at this meeting. So keep that in mind. We could have a lot more volatility Monday, Tuesday. But other than that, the weekly, the stochastics got oversold. We're bouncing up, curling up now. RSI is still in the mid here. Not too worried about it long term. The only thing I'm worried about is Monday, Tuesday before the Fed event. So let's see if we can get follow through on Amazon. Other than that, there's not much to report. Daily still looks like it just broke out of a bull flag. So it looks like we actually broke out of the bull flag and retested today. So let's see if we can get some legs in Amazon next week. As you guys see, there's a huge volume shelf here at 3,500. If we get over 3,500, they can run a lot fast. You guys seen how fast Amazon can move. AMD, we called this one out a little while back. I love the weekly chart. I loved how it was setting up. Again, don't get scared by 5-minute, 10, 15-minute candles, guys. We're zooming out here. AMD, 3 weeks, breakout of bull flag, 3 weeks, breakout, and this is the 3rd week. So let's see if we break out next week and fly. We also got an upgrade that AMD is making ARM chips yesterday, so I do expect to get a price target upgrade. I thought we were going to get it today, but I guess the analysts were sleeping today because of OPEX. The OPEX meeting that we had. AMD price target raised this weekend, most likely in my opinion. Let's see if we can gap up and go on Monday. I did add back more of those calls that I sold yesterday. I have the 110 calls for September 24th. Today's lottos went to trash because I didn't get my price target. Told you guys the risk. I was expecting 0. I wasn't heavy at all. SE, what a monster. Huge share offering to raise cash, and the stock just ripped back and filled the gap within 4 days. That's massive, massive strength. And actually, we are above the gap right now. Close above the 8-day moving average. Looks like this one wants all-time highs again. To the downside, I would be watching this as a key support right here, the low of the offering. 315.50 I would watch as the must-hold level if we do not want to go into weekly consolidation on SE. Still my favorite company in the stock market. Nothing has changed. Haven't sold anything. I'm actually going to add equity if we get a market correction. NTLA, huge ripper at the end of the day. What did I tell you guys? Go back and watch yesterday's video. So why did I take NTLA equity? First thing was Since that huge news on NTLA, this is a genomics company if you're not into it. What I did was, how about a please, Kyle? Jesus. Talk Apple. NTLA. So yesterday I was telling you the weekly candle, since that big news that we had about the genomics, we have not closed a weekly candle below the 8-day moving average. The 8-day moving average was at 154. Yesterday I bought equity at around 151-ish, I believe. Somewhere around there, 151, 152. Why did I buy it? Because I believed that we would close the weekly candle above the 8-day moving average. And look at this candle. This is a beautiful weekly candle. Yesterday, that's literally the only reason I bought it. I thought this one could never close. It wouldn't close the weekly below the 8-day moving average. So I jumped in equity. I looked at the calls. I remember I looked at one call for next week. The bid was $1 and the ask was $4.90. I didn't even look at any other calls. That's way too wide of a spread. So I just jumped in equity right away. So we did get the close. Daily is a hammer candle. Weekly is a hammer candle. Everything looks set up to go on NTLA. Yeah, it's solid. I mean, it should make a move. If this is the lower high. So remember what I told you guys, in a bullish trend, you see a higher low and then well, this is kind of bullish, but like this was just a spike on news, okay? So ignore this high. This was just a spike on news that they took profit on right away. So they put in a higher low, higher high, higher lows, and then they put in the higher high here. Well, they rejected the higher high, so we're going sideways here. But could this be the low now for a while? My computer is so laggy, Jesus Christ. So if this is the daily lower high, daily higher low, god damn it, I can't even talk, it's Friday. If this is the daily higher low, we should make a move back up to 170, 180 level, which is the resistance here that we've proven three times. So I'm looking for a move back to 180, and even if NTLA doesn't go straight up, it's not that time of the night on Friday yet, Vlad. Just kidding. NTLA, so we're looking for a move back to 180s. Even if this does fail, it's equity. I will not lose premiums on my calls. This is a long-term stock. Other than that, we closed very well. I love these stocks. As you guys know, NTLA, EDIT, CRSP, and BEAM, I will be holding for the rest of my life if I ever buy them. I think they're the next trillion-dollar companies. Here's ASTS. So ASTS, we called out the February 1250s. They were up almost 200% today off a bullet flag breakout. So we had this huge run. We had a long consolidation. That's why I called out February. Sometimes these stocks take longer to go. Big consolidation, perfect, big volume, big breakout. 11% on the day. What else do you want? I missed my sell today. I had a sell order in at about 390. I think I called out these calls at 130 for 1250s for February, and they were at around 360, 370 today. I did not get my 390 fill for 200% on half, but I'm sure this one I have a lot of time on this one, and space is a hot industry. This company didn't even announce anything. It was just because SpaceX sent civilians to outer space, so space ripped, ASTS ripped. Every space company ripped today, and I fully expect I'll get more than 300, 400% on these, but I still will scale out half at 200%. My sell order's in. I'm not going to tell you where, so you can't front run me. Just kidding, it's at 390. Jumia held up different today. So usually the pattern on Jumia has been a huge spike in the morning and then just sell off all day, right? Huge spike in the morning, sell off all day. Huge spike in the morning. Today we held, so that's different action. I do have the $25 calls for October 1st. I did scale out a bunch for 40%ish, but I'm still holding some of them. The daily setup, like the low, it's just like NTLA. If that was the daily higher low, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of stuff on there. Okay, so it's set up just like NTLA. What happens? So when you're trying to change the trend on a stock from bearish, obviously it's bearish, it came all the way down here, right? So we set a low, then we set a lower high, and then we set a higher low. And now do we set a higher high? So we need a break of 22.15, I think was the level, 22.15. Yeah, 22.15 is the level on Jumia. If we break over 22.15, the daily trend change is in play, and this one has a lot of room to the upside to go. 22.15 break is needed on Jumia. Fiverr, absolute monster of a stock. We've been calling out this one all week. Fiverr and Airbnb were super strong in a weak market today. I mean, look at this chart. Which index looked like this today? Indexes were the complete opposite of this. And Fiverr just went straight up in a line. Huge gap fill to play. Why do I like this one so much? Because it could pull an Etsy. I've been saying the same thing. So huge gap down on earnings, and it's just slowly filling that gap. It closed above the 50-day today. 198.56 50-day close at 200. So we closed above the 50-day. The next level is the 200-day, which is at what? Just look it up. I don't even want to look. My color is way too blinding. But Fiverr could do what Etsy did right here. So Etsy fat gap down on earnings, slowly grinded into the gap, and then all of a sudden just exploded. So you see how similar these charts are? Big gap down on earnings, sideways, kind of grinding up slowly, and then all of a sudden just exploded. And I expect the exact same move on Fiverr, especially after a day like today where the indexes are down and Fiverr ripped. Keep an eye on Fiverr for a move to 240. Straight to 240, like 8 days straight. It's very possible. Alibaba showed strength this morning. Showed strength all day. Closed green, actually. Other than that, the daily and weekly still don't look like a swing to me yet. I mean, we've put in, you know how many times I've heard Ricky say, Baba, this could be a bottom? In the last 6 months, I've probably heard it like 60 times. Don't tell him I told you I said that. Don't tell him I told you that. But yeah, so he's been calling bottoms every day. I just really hate China. It's really hard for me to swing this unless it's over 174. So the number I want for a swing on Baba is 174. Anything under that will be a scalp play. Don't really trust in China yet, but like I was pointing out earlier today, PDD is much, much better situation than Baba. In my opinion, chart-wise, we set the low, we put in a lower high, higher low, higher high, and now we're changing the trend like I told you. So we bottomed, it looks like, on PDD. As long as this level holds this low right here of 96.78. So 96.50 hold. Support of 96.50 must hold. And that tells me the daily is trying to change trend. How does the daily change trend? We have to break above 110. So that's why I said I love PDD calls for next week. It closed with a hammer candle. Over 110 confirms the daily trend change, and 96.50 must hold before we break 110. So 96.50 to the downside, 110 to the upside changes the trend. BNTX, I jumped in 400 calls for next week. The premium was all over the place today. He filled me nicely at 280. I mean, it did go down a little bit more, but I got filled at 280 when the bid was 260 and the ask was like 350. So nice little fill there. It looks like a nice little daily hammer candle. We did close below my fib of 366. So next week, if we get above 366, this thing could run to 384 and then 400 straight. I believe they have some kind of news over the weekend. They got news right after I bought in, unfortunately. It happens. But the stock didn't dip. Like I bought in here, and then the news came that they weren't doing booster shots, and it barely even moved. This is a 5-minute candle. It didn't even lose this low that I bought in at. So I'm pretty confident in BNTX. Let's see where we open up on Monday. As you guys know, vaccine stocks can go nuts up and down. They move very, very fast. I could get $5.60. I could get a double on those BNTX calls on Monday at open. Very likely. If we have some positive Moderna news or negative COVID news over the weekends, it could help the stock. Moderna, big dump off of the morning news, and then the second news came out like right here. So I'm not sure why they didn't dump it on that, but it looks like it held well and it came back up. Let's look at the daily here. The daily on Moderna looks pretty good. I mean, this is not, so it was a bear flag. It looked like we dumped and then bear flagged and then broke the bear flag to the downside, but look at the hammer candle. It's a beautiful hammer candle on the daily. Weekly looks good as well, and this thing could run, if this is the low, if it holds today's low, 406. If Moderna holds 406.87, we could make our way back to all-time highs. Not saying we will, but I'm saying it's very possible. Match is being added to the S&P 500 on Monday, which is why I love the calls for next week. As you guys know, a lot of firms, a lot of hedge funds, they cannot buy stocks unless they're listed in the S&P 500. I know a lot of firms, even personally, they don't even allow buying from the QQQ or IWM. They only allow S&P 500 stocks to be traded and Dow Jones to be traded, just because of volatility and risk risk assessment and stuff. So match getting added to the S&P, as long as it holds this big gap here, this thing should see all-time highs as funds and firms start buying it because of the addition into the S&P 500. What else we got? I'll do snow and I'll do Apple for that guy that didn't say please. So snow had relative strength today. Holy shit, is that volume real? That's a lot of volume in snow for one day. That's the most buy volume we've seen in forever. Wait, is that forever? Holy crap. The last time we had buy volume like that was December 15th of 2020. So something's up with snow. A lot of sell volume at the close. Okay, maybe it was a lot of mix. A lot of people bought, a lot of people sold. Let's see what happens on Monday. But it does look relatively, I mean, I don't see an entry here. It's just been grinding up slowly. There is a resistance here. So it might need to consolidate under this resistance of 327.41. So let's just write that out. 327.50 is key on snow. I'm just joking around, Mo. Don't worry, Stonktions. 327.50 is the key level to break on snow, but looking at the chart, it's been grinding up for a long time. Ever since this dump right here, it's just been a straight up line. So we might need a couple days underneath it and then a breakout, and then we'll be all over snow. But if it breaks out right here, it's very likely to fail this breakout just because it's so extended. Unless it has volume like this, it's very likely to fail this breakout on the first attempt unless it coils underneath and lets people accumulate shares and options underneath 327.50. So that's what I'm watching today. Today's high was 328, but obviously we sold off big and we closed at 322. So we closed down. It already tried to break out and came back down. So I'm just going to be watching this one for a sideways or a little bit of a down move to just accumulate and then rip through the top. Other than that, snow is a little bit extended. Apple looked like dog shit last time I seen it. Let's see it. Yeah, it looks like absolute shit. Look at the difference between Apple daily and Amazon daily. So Amazon was just a bull flag and trying to break higher. Apple just breaking down, level after level, just breaking down. So we had this huge dump on the investor day. Bear flag broke down, but right now the RSI is getting down there. Apple is a huge company. It's not going to go too far down in my opinion. So this is a key level right here, 146. We actually closed right at the level. Cool. That's very cool. No, 145 is the level. Why do I have 145 as the level? Ignore this one. Why this here? So the level to be watching on Apple is now this support here at 144.50. 144.50 is a solid support. I'm guessing a lot of buyers show up there for a bounce at least if it doesn't want to go lower. 144.50 key support on Apple, and I would just use today's high as resistance for now. 148.82 was today's high, and that should be the resistance. Thank you guys for attending. Have a great weekend. Don't drink too much. Go to the gym. Be healthy. Don't be degenerates.